Hello again, this is me, Valerie, and I am very excited to come back with a second Read With Me video in this series. I am blown away, frankly, at the positive outpour of support my first video received, and several of you have suggested excellent books to share in these videos as well, and I'd like to make a video reading all of them at some point. But I have selected a book for today that I found again at a local New Hampshire library that is civically minded and an excellent choice for kids. I first read this book last week and I was laughing by the end. I think it's hysterical and a great choice. So please, if you have any more suggestions, leave them in the comments or reach out to me, and I'd love to hear some great civically minded books to share with kids. So without further ado, this book is called Duck for President. Quite silly, I know. And it's a national bestseller by Doreen Cronin, and it was also written by Betsy, Lewin. So, here we go. Running a farm is very hard work. At the end of the day, Farmer Brown is covered from head to toe in hay, horsehair, seeds, sprouts, feathers, filth, mud, muck, and coffee stains. He doesn't smell very good either. The animals have chores to do too. Pigs clean under the beds. Cows weed the garden. Sheep sweep the barn. Duck take out the trash, mow the lawn, grind the coffee beans. Seems like Duck has more to do than the other animals. At the end of each day, the pigs are covered in lint bunnies, the cows are covered in weeds, and the sheep are covered in dust. And Duck is covered in tiny bits of grass and espresso beans. Duck did not like to do chores. He did not like picking tiny bits of grass and espresso beans out of his feathers. Why is Farmer Brown in charge anyway, thought Duck. What we need is an election. He made a sign and hung it up in the barn. Farmer Brown must go. Farm election tomorrow. Ooh. The next morning, Farmer Brown found a poster on his front door. Vote Duck for a kinder, gentler farm. Farmer Brown was furious. He ran to the barn and found the animals registering to vote. Voter registration. Voters must live on the farm and show valid ID, and then be at least this tall. I think that's kind of funny. The mice got together and protested the height requirements, so Duck crossed them off. You can see the little mice would not have been able to vote. They're too short, but fortunately they crossed off, so the mice can vote as well. On election day, each of the animals filled out a ballot and placed it in a box. The vote was counted and the results were posted on the barn wall. Farmer Brown got 6 votes. Duck, 20 votes. Farmer Brown demanded a recount. One sticky ballot was found stuck to the bottom of a pig. So the new tally was Farmer Brown 6, Duck 21. That means that ballot was for Duck. The voters had spoken. Duck was officially in charge. I really like this photo because if you look closely at the pictures, it says E pluribus unum, and that means out of many, one. And that is actually written on United States currency. So you might see that in your dollars or on your change. And that means out of many, one. Running a farm is very hard work. At the end of each day, Duck was covered from head to toe in hay, horsehair, seeds, sprouts, feathers, filth, mud, muck, and coffee stains. Running a farm is not fun at all, thought Duck. That night, Duck and his staff started working on Duck's campaign for governor. I find this page funny because he already has staff of his own. But anyway, vote for me. I'm a duck, not a politician. Duck left Farmer Brown in charge and hit the campaign trail. He visited small-town diners. He marched in parades. He went to town meetings. He gave speeches that only other ducks could understand. And again, you see the signs that say, vote for me, a duck, not a politician. On Election Day, the voters filled out their ballots in booths all over the state. The vote was counted and the results were posted in the local paper. Duck wins by a nose. Mrs. Governor got 299,999 votes. Duck got 300,000. So this means he won by only one vote, which really shows that every vote counts. This is Mrs. Governor reacting to the news. The governor demanded a recount. 2 sticky ballots were found stuck to the bottom of a plate of pancakes. Who knows how they got there? But the new tally was Mrs. Governor still had 299,999, and Duck had 300,002. The voters had spoken. Duck was officially in charge. Running a state is very hard work. At the end of each day, Duck was covered from head to toe in hairspray, ink stains, scotch tape, fingerprints, mayonnaise, and coffee stains. And he had a very bad headache. Running a state is no fun at all, thought Duck. That night, Duck and his staff started working on posters for the presidential election. That's one ambitious duck. A duck for a change. Duck making us proud again. I like duck. You can see Ike is crossed out. That's another political reference to President Eisenhower, whose campaign slogan was, I like Ike. Duck left his staff in charge and hit the campaign trail. He kissed babies in local diners. He rode in parades. He gave speeches that only other ducks could understand. He even played the saxophone on late-night television. Now, all of these things are things that presidents have done when campaigning for office. Being in New Hampshire, the first in the nation state, you might have gone to some of these events and seen some politicians in a parade or giving speeches. This last one is a specific reference to former President Bill Clinton, who was a saxophone player and played it on late night television. So yes, even that has been done by a president while campaigning. On Election Day, the voters filled out their ballots in booths all over the country. The vote was counted. The results were announced on CNN. Decision America. Mr. President, 50,546,165 votes. And Duck, 50,546,170 votes. Which means Duck won by 5 votes this time. It says Duck defeats the president. The president demanded a recount. 10 sticky ballots were found to the bottom of the vice president's. The new tally was Mr. President, 50,546,165 votes. Duck, 50,546,180 votes. The voters had spoken, and Duck was officially in charge. All of these elections are very close. But running a country is very hard work. At the end of each day, Duck was covered from head to toe in face powder, paper cuts, staples, security badges, Secret Service agents, and coffee stains. And he had a very bad headache. Running a country is no fun at all, thought Duck. Then he checked the help wanted ads. Duck needed. No experience necessary. Must be able to mow the lawn and grind the coffee beans. Duck left the vice president in charge and headed back to the farm. At the end of each day, Farmer Brown is now covered from head to toe in hay, horsehair, seeds, sprouts, feathers, filth, mud, muck, and coffee stains. Now, what do you think Duck is doing now after this incredible journey he's had? Because this one surprised me. And Duck is working on his autobiography. So thank you for joining me for another video. That is the end of this book. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any suggestions, please share them with me. And thank you for joining this episode of Read With Me. I'll see you next time.